Hi guys, I'm Angie, and this is.
Harold Jones, John L. Scott.
We've been having a conversation this morning, and we're like, you know what? Let's just record it.
Yeah,
It's good information.
it is good information. And basically, what I am doing is I am treating Angie like the seller of a property.
Mhm.
And what we're trying to do is go through the process, having her goals in mind, and then having a backup plan. And what I mean by the backup plan, and I don't think many people cover this, but I think it's very important, and it's to relieve a lot of stress down the road. We have a plan, we both agree on it. As her agent, she's the seller. We're doing this role play. She's the seller, I'm her agent. So we're going to go through this routine of, okay, we're going to price the property.
Yep.
We have an idea of price.
Mhm.
I have an idea of price, but before we put it on the market, I'll update to see what the market's doing to make adjustments, up or down, whatever way it's going. So, what are your thoughts? You're paying attention to the market.
Correct.
What are your thoughts pertaining to the price of the property you want to sell?
It's scary because as a seller, you want, you still think your mind is still like, oh, I can get this much for it. And then you look at the market and you're starting to notice that there's a lot of price reductions, and then you try to look in the same vicinity or the same size as your home, and you're starting to see a lot of, like I said, price reductions. So it's that hard pill to swallow that you're like, okay, maybe I'm not going to get this. Okay. And then coming to terms with, okay, this is the price. Let's start with this price. But on the flip side of that, it's you get doubts. We've had videos before as sellers sometimes have these doubts like, am I doing this? Should I do this? Um, what else do you want? Because I can keep going as a seller.
Keep going.
Well, and then you have
This is
doubts.
the whole thing, is to get this out front so
You-
everybody involved in this sale
Mhm.
knows exactly what the seller wants to do. This is something that I don't think many agents are going to say, and that is, on my part, I might not want this as a project because
You're
it's
fired me already.
no, I haven't fired you already. But the thing is, and I had a open house this past weekend,
Uh-huh.
right? Okay. The couples that came through were very interested. It's a very unique property. It's not going to fit everyone. One of the was an older couple. They really liked it. They have a property to sell. Okay, got that understood. So they have to sell first before they can buy. I'm getting to the point here. A
Okay.
younger couple, the gentleman was raised in the neighborhood, and the neighborhood was the important thing. And he wanted the house, and his wife mentioned that they would have to marry the house to buy it. They could buy it, but they would be stuck. They wouldn't have any extra money, is what you was just
Yeah.
talking about. I was as gentle as I can be, which I'm fairly straightforward and blunt. And I said, I understand, and this is the thing. I'm in sales. I get paid for what is sold. I would never recommend to a buyer that they marry a house, because that's going to be the monthly stress of it when the house payment drains your account every month.
Because I mean, you're just pretty much working to make your mortgage, and then you don't have room to, go on vacations, because your payment poor
Just
on
have
your,
a night out.
Yeah.
So it puts a lot of stress on you unless you have some very fine goal that you're working on, and you do.
Yeah.
You have a goal that you're working on. Unless you have this very fine goal and you're willing to basically sacrifice, you need to seriously think about that kind of a step, jumping into that kind of a situation. And the reason I stated that to that couple is I don't want to be that person they think about every month
That
when they have to cut that check
Mhm.
and have bad thoughts. I don't want that to happen. It doesn't mean that much to me to have people dislike it that much when they have to write the check every month and it drains their account. That's no fun. That's
No.
not living. Now, if you got a goal set up and you have a plan, that's different. But just to look at that for the rest of your life, no. So back to you as
to
a
me.
seller in this role play.
Mhm.
Okay, you have a price idea of what you want.
Correct.
Is what you want achievable in today's market? Now be real, be realistic.
It's very slim.
Okay. Are you willing to take the chance on it?
Yes, but as a seller, you were gonna be also a buyer, because if you're selling something, eventually you're gonna try to buy
Correct.
something. So you're wearing two hats, and that's where I think as a seller, you kind of get where you second guess yourself, because you're like, okay, I want this, this, and this, right? And you probably, some sellers, maybe depending when they bought their home, have an awesome interest rate, which you can't control, but it was a past couple of years, there were really great interest rates. So moving forward, now if I'm in the buyer position, now I'm trying to look for the same dollar value of what I'm trying to sell my home with the current interest rates. Goes back to what Harold was saying. Now you have this payment that is double probably than what you had. So now you're starting to think like, should I or shouldn't I? If you, like we had our last video, some people have to sell and some want to sell. So depending on your situation, but it's kind of
It's tricky.
It's tricky,
And the other thing is, and I understand it, and most people will, we have a tendency to overthink.
That's me.
We all do it. We all do it. We overthink, and then we start doubting our decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where you have to have the talk through. You have to have the plan. If it doesn't sell, what do you want to do?
Mm-hmm.
And I want my seller to be very confident in, if this happens, that's great. If this happens, we have a plan. If the third option happens, we will just go with this until we make a different decision.
So yeah, have a lot of different plans.
Okay.
All our videos are about planning, if you haven't noticed. Strategies and plans.
Strategies and plans. And the reason I really stress that is to take as much stress out of it as possible. It's not stress-free because real estate is a general rule, whether it's business, residential, it's very emotional. You have all of these issues. If you're an investor, if you're a one-time buyer, one-time seller, all of this comes to bear, and it really sometimes gets out of hand if we let it.
Yeah.
So I stress having a plan. I'm going to stress going through the plan with Angie. What are her options? What does she want to do if we go here and that doesn't work? What does she want to do from that point forward? I can make suggestions. Always remember, the client has the final word. We're just going to go in to the whole process with as much knowledge about what the market's doing and what my client's options are. Then it's my job to make it happen from that point forward. That's pretty heavy stuff. I think we've had enough of that for today.
Yes, I'm like, and also if you have your agent, ask your agent, ask questions. You know, talking to Harold, he's asking me questions that didn't even cross my mind. And now, again, it makes you think, oh, we didn't think about that. We should probably, think about that, because again, as sellers, you think,
Right.
oh, it's as easy, like we're just gonna sell it, do this, and we'll go find a house, But not the questions like, well, what if you don't? And what if this happens? Do you have a plan? Do you have a plan this? So it's nice to, reach out to your agent or your broker and have them,
Ask your questions.
ask you questions that you probably didn't think,
I've been around for a while, so I do not mind looking like a fool. I ask the questions.
Believe it or not, he's only 50.
It was a hard 50.
Yeah, just kidding.
So anyway, have a plan, have your goals, have a plan B.
C and D.
Absolutely. So, and keep everybody on the page. I'm going to say something that I know is impossible. Try not to overthink it.
Too late.
It's too late for all of us.
Too late.
Make a good, solid decision and stay with it.
Okay, so we're gonna leave you guys with that. If you have any questions or comments, reach out to Harold. I'll put his information like I do here. And we hope you have a great day.
Absolutely.
All right, bye.
Bye.